The call came in at 2:17 a.m. The operator had already handled 3 emergencies that night to domestic disputes and a car accident. Routine chaos, predictable panic. Voices trembling, words stumbling over fear. But this call was different. 911, what's your emergency? There was a pause, not the kind filled with panic or confusion. A controlled pause, then a voice. Calm, too calm. I think something's wrong. My wife, she's not responding. The operator leaned forward slightly. Years of experience had trained her to detect the smallest shifts in tone. Most callers in genuine distress didn't speak in complete sentences. They didn't choose their words carefully. But this man did. What's your address, sir? He gave it immediately, no hesitation, no stutter. Like he had rehearsed it. Can you tell me what happened? Another pause. I just got home, he said. She was on the floor. The way he said it wasn't right. Not she collapsed, not she fell, not even she's hurt. Just on the floor, detached, clinical, like he was describing an object, not a person he loved. Is she breathing? I don't think so. No urgency. No attempt to check. No background noise of movement. Most callers would already be kneeling beside the victim, shaking them, crying, shouting for help. But this man, he sounded. Still, sir, I need you to go to her and check for breathing. Put your hand near her mouth or chest. A longer pause this time. The operator frowned. Then, faintly, she heard movement. Slow, deliberate. Okay, I'm here. There was something else now. A subtle shift in his breathing. Not panic. Something closer to calculation. She's cold, he said. That word hit differently. Cold. At 2:17 a.m., most people wouldn't use that word so quickly. They would say, I don't know, or I think she's unconscious. Cold meant one thing. He already knew more than he was saying. Sir, I'm dispatching emergency services now. Stay on the line with me, okay? No protest, no desperation, just acceptance. The operator's fingers hovered over her keyboard. Something deep in her instincts began to stir. This wasn't grief. This was control. 20 minutes later, the police arrived. The house was quiet, too quiet. No lights except for the living room. No signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle. The husband was exactly where he said he would be. Standing near the doorway. Waiting. Officer Daniels had seen this before. The way people positioned themselves when they wanted to appear cooperative, not too close, not too far. She's in there, the man said, pointing toward the living room. His voice was steady, eyes dry. Daniels walked past him without responding. The body was on the floor. A woman in her mid-30s, no visible injuries. No overturned furniture, no broken glass. Everything looked normal, except it wasn't. There was a stillness in the room that didn't belong. Like something had already settled long before the call was made. Daniels knelt beside the body. Touched her wrist. Cold, very cold. He glanced at the wall clock. 2:41 a.m. Then back at the body. Something didn't match. When did you say you got home? The man blinked once. Around 2:05. Daniels nodded slowly. And she was already like this. Yes, no hesitation. Too clean, too precise. Truth was messy. People who told the truth often contradicted themselves. But lies were polished. Back at the station, the 911 recording was already being reviewed. The operator sat with Detective Harris, replaying the call. Listen to this part, she said, rewinding. I just got home. She was on the floor. Harris leaned back in his chair. Do you hear it? She asked. The pause? Yes, but not just that. The way he chooses his words. He's thinking before he speaks. Harris nodded slowly. Most people react first. Think later. She hit play again. She's cold. That's early, he said. Too early, she replied. They both knew what it meant. If the body was already cold, then she had been dead for hours. Not minutes. Which meant one thing. The timeline didn't work. Meanwhile, the husband sat alone in an interrogation room. No cuffs, no accusations, just a quiet space and a ticking clock. He rested his hands on the table, fingers interlocked. Still calm, too calm. Detective Harris entered the room, holding a file. Thanks for coming in, he said casually. Of course, the man replied. Harris studied him carefully. The posture, the eye contact, the lack of visible stress. He was balanced, controlled, Like he had already rehearsed this moment in his mind. "Walk me through your night," Harris said. The man nodded. And he began speaking, clear, structured, almost perfect. But as Harris listened, something became obvious. The story didn't evolve. It didn't change. It didn't breathe. It stayed exactly the same. Later that night, Harris sat alone, staring at the timeline. 2:05 a.m., husband arrives home. 2:17 a.m. -911 call placed. But the body temperature suggested something else entirely. Death hadn't happened at 2:05, it had happened much earlier, which meant the husband hadn't just found the body. He had known about it, long before he picked up the phone. Harris leaned back, exhaling slowly, because if that was true, then the 911 call wasn't a reaction. It was part of the plan, and when they replayed the call one more time, they noticed something they had missed before, a faint sound in the background. Not movement, not panic, something else. Something that didn't belong, and in that moment, the entire case shifted. Because the call didn't just raise suspicion anymore, it exposed something far more disturbing. The man wasn't reacting to a crime, he was performing it.